I'm going to say something that will probably offend half the internet. Your mental health diagnosis is not your identity. And the moment you turn it into one, you lose control of your life. So, fuck your mental health diagnosis. Back in 2022, I was dealing with some internal issues. External events pushed my anxiety to levels I had never experienced before, and new behaviors followed. I met with my psychiatrist and was diagnosed with acute obsessive compulsive disorder. As with most people who get this diagnosis, I believed it. My OCD-like behavior did not improve with my new diagnosis. It worsened. About 4 months after I got the diagnosis, through therapy and other means, I realized the diagnosis didn't really fit. My therapist at the time agreed it wasn't OCD, it was a trauma response. And just like that, overnight, the habits and behaviors I adapted faded. I had never shown OCD behavior before, yet suddenly I had it. I understand some mental health diagnoses can develop over time, but this wasn't the case for me. I was expressing new habits due to the situations I was in at that time, not because I actually had OCD. Society has made major strides in mental health over the past 25 years. It's less stigmatized, and taking a mental health day is now normal. I am not against this. What I oppose are the endless excuses used to justify shitty behavior, which is almost always rooted in a lack of emotional control due to the diagnosis. But Henry, I'm not like you. My diagnosis is real and has been my entire life. Cool, congrats. Well done. Still doesn't make shitty behavior excusable because of it. I am no stranger to being called an asshole. I've heard it my whole life. Matter of fact, I found a way to monetize this behavior, and with that, I became an assertiveness trainer. Of course, I'm joking. Having anxiety is not an excuse to be irrational or lose emotional control. Neither is depression, neither is PTSD. The responsibility still belongs to the person living with it. Newsflash, it's 2025. Everyone has some kind of problem. Figure it out. The rest of the world shouldn't have to suffer because you can't control your emotional state. But Henry, it's not my fault. I'm not saying it is. My amputations aren't my fault either. I was blindsided by a truck. When this happened, I had a choice. I can rely on everyone else, or I can learn to develop my own sense of independence. Today, I'm one of the most independent people I know. There's not a single person in my life that I rely on for any day-to-day activity. Does this mean I'm an island? Does it mean I don't have friends and family I confide in? Of course not. But my life is my responsibility, and I have to take care of myself. I did about 8 years of therapy, most of which was trauma-specific. For the first 4 years of therapy, I was with a woman who, looking back, was not qualified to handle my issues. I sat in her office for 4 years, and while some progress was made, mostly it became a habit to go see her. In the following 2 years, I met with other therapists who were seemingly more qualified to handle my specific problems, eventually landing with an ART, Accelerated Resolution Therapy, doctor who I made drastic strides with. I developed new habits, I was able to connect with this man. I'm forever grateful for him and what he helped me with in his upper room. 2 years of ART is a lot, but I had a lot to untangle. Prior to this, I had done EMDR, but it only showed me what the underlying problem was, not how to fix it. With ART, I learned how to fix my issues, nearly all of which were centered around maintaining boundaries and standing up for myself. But ultimately, I didn't get the practice in ART. I sat on this question for years. How do you train confrontation? When placed in my own confrontational situations, I would exhibit a fawn response. I'm sure you've heard of fight, flight, and freeze. Fawning is an extension of the freeze response, wherein a person does whatever they need to do to appease others. It's conflict avoidance. This repeat pattern continuously showed up in my life until I couldn't ignore it anymore. Again and again, I asked therapists, coaches, self-defense instructors, how do you train confrontation? No one had a response. Eventually, I learned about assertiveness training, and this became the answer to my problem. How do you train confrontation? How do you get comfortable in stressful situations? How do you navigate those situations where you can make a choice in what your response will be, as opposed to a reaction, something you had little to no control over? You train those scenarios just like you would train anything else. That question about training confrontation eventually led me to build something I couldn't find anywhere else: the Confrontation Gym. I use my unique life experiences to stress test my students. Do you have a hard time with command presence? I have drills and exercises we can do to elevate this in you. Do you struggle with the overwhelming need to be liked? I will get you out of that so fast you'll be amazed it was ever an issue. I am not anti-therapy, not by any means. And I see the Confrontation Gym as a complement to therapy, not a replacement. After you have gone and figured your issues out, I want you to come see me so we can practice new and better habits that keep you assertive and in control of your actions. Therapy can help you understand why you have poor boundaries. It can help you get to the original source and heal the inner child, as therapists often say. It can assist you in figuring out the right path to take. It doesn't put you in situations where you can be put under pressure and coached in how to properly respond. That's where I come in. I have no issue putting you under pressure. I have no issue stressing you out. None of this is pointless, nor is it an outlet for me to be a prick to random people. As all of this is happening, I will coach you on the proper way to respond that is both direct and respectful, as that is how I define assertive action in my classes. Direct and respectful communication. I am there to challenge you. I am there to test you. But I also want you to understand I am there to apply pressure, not punishment. At no point in any class I run is it my goal to destroy you, your sense of confidence, or your sense of self. I do what I do so you can practice handling stressful situations in a controlled environment as I coach you through them. I do not want you to have a fawn or freeze response. I want you to face these situations with clarity and confidence. I want you to have that experience before you see it in the real world, before you are faced with situations and opportunities where the habit takes over. I want to help break you out of those habits. I attempt to trigger you in hopes you can navigate your world regardless. Your therapist won't do that. So allow me to say it again as loudly as possible. Fuck your mental health diagnosis. It doesn't excuse your lack of control, it doesn't define your personality, and it doesn't dictate your future. Therapy can help you understand the why. I'm here to help you understand the how. The Confrontation Gym is for practicing the moments that matter. I've received the labels, I've been diagnosed. I'm speaking from experience here. None of it got me past my past issues. Standing up for myself did. Your diagnosis is not your identity. Your response is, and that response can be trained. Thank you.